Hello everyone, my name is Chao. So today I'm gonna give this presentation to you guys, which is about my interview. So first of all, I want to introduce my agenda to you guys. And the first part is the background of interviews and their organization and rhythm. The second one is topics, content from course I will focus on and why. So the next is the key takeaways and advice from my interviews. How this all related back to what we have learned. And the fifth is impact my future thinking about my professions. So the last one is the conclusion of interview. So let's switch to the first part of my presentation, which is the background of interviews and their organizations. So she's name is Yang Liu, which I give this interview to her, and she is the director of international programs and enrollment management department. So this organization is the Bishop Guilford Catholic High School. We just take this interview face to face. You guys may ask me questions like why you give this interview to her from a high school, from international student program. She have really good relationship between my Chinese professor and her. My Chinese professor just suggested me to give this interview to her. And then the second one is, I still remember the first time when I came to America, especially in San Francisco University. So Sam, which is the director of the International Student Program Department. So Sam gives me a lot of help. Yang is the Sam's wife. So the last one is I personally want to do some international student business in the future. And this is really good for me to know some basic information before I graduate from my master's degree. Let's turn to the next part, which is the topic and the content from course, and I will focus on. So there are three parts of my questions. The first part is the general questions, which have 10 questions, and those questions are all from the Canvas website, which there's a question list. Let's pick 10 questions from that list. And the second one is the leadership questions, which have 5 questions. Those are from the chapter 12. And the third one is the decision-making questions. There are both have 5 questions, and those 5 questions from our chapter 6. Sorry. I want to introduce more specific about leadership questions. So, I ask 5 questions about leadership to Yang as the night when we first meet with each other, and those 5 questions, the most important questions I asked her is how she built relationship between her school and other organizations. She told me a lot of the example, like she has to negotiate with other organizations and their students as well. So for the relationship part, she needed to talk about more the school policy and to match their organization's policy. So in order to get this, element, the core element things, she just talked to the director of the international program from other organizations as well. And the next one I still remember, I asked him how she managed her relationship between she with other employees. So she gave me an example. Actually, she will have a dinner with the employees on Friday night, and she told me that is really a good way for her to keep track with their employees, because their employees will share some personal private story with her, and she's really willing to hear those story and share his story as well. So this is a really good way for her to keep track with their employees, and they both feel happy about those stories, and they love this way. So the next is the more specific about decision-making questions. Well, when I ask those questions, this part just gave me a lot of like the amazing answer. Cause when I asked her how she make a decision to her team, she just told me like she makes most of the decision. Well, I just feel a little bit confused. Like, why you always make those decision making? And do you need to negotiate with your employees? She just told me no. If I have to talk with my employees, I will do that. But if I don't really need someone to help me, I will shoulder all the responsibility to whatever the right or wrong decision. So like she will shoulder all the responsibility because she is the top leader of this team, of this organization, of this department. Well, everybody just respect her to follow her like mission or any ideas. So I really love this part because she gave me a lot of like the amazing answer. It just gave me a shock. Like she like in charge of his team all the time. Well, why I pick those topic? Like the first one I want to share with you guys is Yang Liu works as director for many years, and she is the top leader in her workplace. And I personally want to know like how she lead their team and how she organize as well. And the second one is when she work with team. That is so interesting to know how they make decision. Well, is that she make decision as well? Just in her part, or did she need to just talk with somebody to make the decision, to improve the decision? Well, actually, she make decision all the time. Let's switch to the next part, which is the key takeaway and advice from my interviews. Well, there are 4 parts I want to just talk about. The first one is how to in charge international program and what should we pay more attention to. Well, and many specific details from international program and how to manage those stuffs. As a leader in one international program organizations, there's a lot of things we need to pay attention, like how to negotiate with employees, talk to like other organizations, communicate with their students, especially in China. How to build a relationship is really a good concept. Well, the second one is how to build a relationship. Well, that's what I mentioned before with one organization and how to keep this relationship if we do want to use it in the future. So in the real world, how to keep a relationship and build a relationship is really it's a big stuff. You have to think about more like if you don't really know this person, how you connect with this person directly or indirectly. The built relationship, like in which way is the more benefit for you and more convenient for them. So the third one is how to manage the performance to the whole team and each individual person. In one organization, that is really have to thinking about like how you manage the performance. So if this person do not just useful for the team, she or he just useless at one team, you need to think about like, do you still need this keep this person or you want to kick this person out? So the last one is how to make decision as a top leader. Well, there's 5 questions I already asked her, and like she always make decision by herself. But if we as employees, maybe if we have chance to work with the leaders, we will give our advice as well and make more benefit. So how this all related back to what we have studied. Well, relationship, the concept is from our chapter 12, and it is so important for each of us to use it in our real world. And like for example, in China, actually, if I want to make a really good relationship between me and another people, maybe if we got chance, I can treat this person as at dinner time or lunch time. Maybe we got some drink. So well, this is a really good way for me to connect with my buddies. And the second one is the decision making concept, just from our chapter 6, sorry. And no one wants to be like an employee forever. Cause like if we want just know more specific knowledge from those top leaders, and we're just trying to be successful in the future. So some impact my future thinking, like after this interview. Well, like the first of all, the international student program still keep hot during those years, and following like the Chinese policy, the last 2 years, which the Chinese people are allowed to get another kid for family. I mean the second kid. So there have a lot of students will come overseas, get American school or the British school, university in the future. So those still keep an advantage. And the second one is the more details about how to manage team and how to attract more students from China, while following the two-kid policy. And the Chinese people want to know more things about overseas, so they will send their kids to UK or USA. So the third one is the Yang. She teach me a lot of things, just to be a good leader and manage the relationship with others, with employees, like organizations, also in their department and as well. The last part of my presentation is the conclusion of interviewee. Well, the first of all, we still need to keep grateful for this interview, and then the second one, as I always do that, just keep contact with Yang whenever I back to China or not. The third one is, well, this is really good and really excited interview, because she gives me a lot of courage and advice. So those advice may just give me a lot of like power for me to do the international student program in the future. So I keep thankful. The last one is the future relationship. So that is really important for me to keep contact with her as well, and with Sam as well. So thanks for watching my presentation. And this is my contact information. So if you guys have questions, just feel free to contact with me, and there I have the contact information for you guys. Thanks for watching.